Alex is staring at his phone. The market just dropped again. His emergency fund suddenly feels a little thinner than it did yesterday, and out of nowhere, a video starts playing on its own. Some confident guy in front of a bookshelf, calm voice, perfect lighting, saying, "Here is exactly what you must do this week." Alex needs an answer, and that need, that quiet panic in the middle of a bad market day, is basically the foundation the entire Finfluencer industry was built on. Not all of them are dishonest, to be fair, but the ones who are usually don't lie outright. They just crop the frame. And this video is about how to see what they're leaving outside of it. False certainty and guaranteed predictions. Listen to the very first sentence in videos like that. This asset will go up. No range, no condition, no scenario where it doesn't work. But the market is a room with dozens of moving lights, and a guaranteed prediction quietly switches off every light except one and points right at it. That single beam feels like clarity, and clarity is exactly what Alex is starving for while the screen is red. The creator isn't really selling a forecast here, he's selling relief from uncertainty. And relief sold as certainty, that's a warning sign, not a service. A serious analyst would say something like, if X happens, then likely Y, unless Z gets in the way. A guaranteed prediction just quietly removes the if and the unless. So notice what's missing before you notice what's being promised. Borrowed authority and manufactured expertise. Now Alex thinks, okay, fine, but this person clearly knows more than I do. And it's worth pausing for a second because why does he think that? A clean studio, financial charts on the wall behind him, a little title on screen that says Market Strategist, a muted Bloomberg clip playing in the corner. None of that is verification. That's set dressing. Manufactured expertise is when independent proof, something like an audited track record or an actual regulated role, gets swapped out for visual props that just feel like proof. Because a real credential is something anyone can look up by name in a public registry. If the only place the credential lives is inside the creator's own edit, it's not a credential, it's a costume. So ask one quiet question. Outside this channel, who has actually verified what this person did? Selected wins track record. Alex clicks around a bit and lands on a wall of green screenshots. Trade closed, plus 40%, plus 22, plus 61, and something inside him shifts. Okay, this person really does it. But a wall of green screenshots is a highlight reel, not a full season. Cherry-pick performance means every single screenshot up there is real, and yet the picture is still false, because the losing trades in the flat, boring months got quietly cut out of the frame. A complete record shows every trade, over a defined period, after fees, with the losses right there next to the wins. The real question isn't, are these wins real? The real question is, what would this wall look like if nothing had been removed? If you can't see the losses, you're not looking at performance, you're looking at marketing. Manufactured consensus and social proof. Scroll down a little. Thousands of comments. This changed my life. Bought yesterday, already up. Finally, someone who tells the truth. And Alex softens. Because if this many people agree, it can't be wrong, right? This is apparent crowd approval, and honestly, it's the most human trap on the list, because we're wired to check what the group is doing before we act on our own. But a comment section is not a random sample of investors. It's a filtered room. Critical comments get deleted, pinned replies steer the mood, early buyers are the loudest ones, and the people who lost money, they usually just go quiet. Popularity is not evidence of being right, it's evidence of reach. So before you treat a crowd as confirmation, ask who isn't allowed to speak in that room, and where the people who tried this and got burned actually went. Crisis urgency and FOMO. And then the video hits its turn. The window closes in 48 hours. Do this before Monday. And because the market genuinely is volatile right now, the urgency sounds like part of the market. It isn't. It's manufactured urgency, an artificial deadline laid on top of real volatility, and its whole job is to shut down the time Alex needs to actually check anything. Real market deadlines, like an earnings date or an option expiration, exist on their own, and anyone can look them up. A deadline that exists only because a creator uploaded a video today is not a market event. It's a countdown timer on a checkout page. The instinct that whispers hurry is the exact instinct they need Alex to obey, which is why the right move is basically the opposite. When a stranger tells you the clock is ticking, that's the moment to put the phone down for an hour. Nothing important will actually be lost, and even if it is, it probably wasn't a real opportunity in the first place. Hidden compensation and incentives. Right when the urgency peaks, the link appears. Sign up here, my link, takes 30 seconds. And Alex just assumes this person recommends it because he believes in it, and maybe he does. But there's a second timeline running underneath this whole thing. The moment Alex opens that account and puts money in, the creator gets paid, sometimes that same week. Alex's actual result from the investment? He won't know for years. That gap has a name: decoupled payout. The person telling you what to do gets rewarded for your action, not for your outcome. Now, a referral payment isn't automatically corruption. Paid promotion isn't fraud. But when the payment trigger is hidden, you can't properly weigh what you're hearing because you don't know if you're watching an opinion or a sales pitch wearing an opinion's clothes. So follow the money before you follow the link, and ask one thing out loud. When exactly does this person get paid, and for what? Omitted risk and hidden constraints. Alex is close to clicking now. The pitch was 12% yield backed by real assets. He heard the return loud and clear. What he didn't hear is everything on the other side of that label. Omitted risk is when the upside gets said out loud and the downside stays silent. Where does that 12% actually come from? Is there leverage baked in, meaning borrowed money that also magnifies the losses? Can Alex pull his money out next month, or is it locked up for 3 years? What happens if there's a default, and who's standing in line ahead of him to get paid back? A tiny disclaimer at the bottom saying capital at risk is not a risk explanation, that's just a label. The real question is mechanical. For this return to exist, what has to go right? And what happens to my money when it doesn't? If the creator can't answer that in one clear sentence, the frame is still cropped. Context-free suitability. And the last trap is the quietest one. Suppose for a second that everything the creator said were actually true. The asset is real, the return is real, the risk is fully disclosed. Alex still can't just do it. Because the advice was given to no one in particular, and Alex is someone in particular, a context-free recommendation treats every single viewer as if they had the same horizon, the same income, the same debts, the same emergency reserve, the same tax situation, the same ability to sit calmly through a 40% drawdown without ever needing to touch the money. And they don't. A perfectly good asset, used with money you actually need next month, can still wreck you, because you'll be forced to sell at the worst possible moment. And the beautiful long-term thesis won't save you if you're not around to see it play out. So before you copy anyone's move, ask the question the creator never asked you. Does this actually fit the money I have for the life I actually live? And that's the whole trick, seen from above. Notice, none of these tactics need a single outright lie. They just need to keep the frame narrow. Only the confident sentence, only the winning screenshot, only the loud comments, only the ticking clock, only the return, only the asset. The defense isn't cynicism. It's just the habit of widening that frame back out. Who is paying whom and when? What isn't being shown? What has to be true for this to work at all? And whether any of it actually fits the person holding the phone. Which, in this story, was Alex. And in every story after this one, is you.